Привет из Сингапура. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about GIS and let's start with the definition.
GIS is this acronym which are created by three words: Geo-information System. This is about layers. For example, you have your country or your territory or maybe your flat plan, and on this plan you will put some digits or even some graphs. For example, right now with a small team of students of the troubleshooter school, we are doing some calculation for Russian company, which is called two GIS or double GIS. We trying to calculate how many users, how many requests are made for the last 4 years for each of 1,500 kind of business. So some of them grow, some of them fall, some of them very stable, and we make this calculation to help startuppers and new businessmen to understand, is it time to open a business or to explore new territories for this business. So this program working as a mobile app, and when someone is needed, for example, to go to a restaurant, to go to gym, or to make nail polished, you will have request, you will found a new a closest point which suits your interest or your request, and you will be followed by the road. And then you have a database in which there are a lot of unique users which make requests for their purposes, and you also has coordinates which will help you to understand when the road was started.
And besides of some of the key components that you already mentioned before, what other principles and building blocks that actually would make the GIS efficient?
GIS would be efficient if the database is large and you collect a lot of prior information before the people will use it. For example, if you are going to put someone to a road to restaurant, you should understand, is it Georgian cuisine, Italian, Chinese, or some other. If, for example, you trying to navigate someone to, I don't know, skiing or maybe swimming, you should understand, is the person a young or old one, because maybe this swim pool is very shallow, or maybe it's just opposite. This is for free divers. There could be also some other obstacles in the map. For example, Schlagbaum,
Barrier.
maybe a barrier which could be constant or removable. It also could be, for example, blocked roads or roads under the reconstruction.
And in terms of the levels of mastery of using and the building GIS, what are they?
First, you build GIS just for general purposes, and everyone trying to use it on the same condition. For example, there is a funny place in St. Petersburg. It's called Bridge of Dumbness, Most Глупости.
Yes, that's correct.
And
Stupidity.
yes, bridge of stupidity. It's much better. So it is a very low distance between road and the bridge, and a lot of cars are going in this hole and they're stocked. And now, after several years, governments will put some ground aside, and it will become much higher. But anyway, you should understand that there are a lot of restrictions. For example, some bridges couldn't bury heavy weight trucks. Some, for example, trucks could not go for uklon,
Incline.
for a high incline. So when you are sitting in the transport, you should understand the engine, the weight, some other meaningful особенности,
Specifics.
to make not the shortest weight, but to make the right weight. For example, if you are sitting in the boat, you couldn't fly over the bank.
And in terms of mistakes that people make while using the GIS, or maybe even the building the GIS, or maybe even the serving the results of the GIS to the people, what are they?
If you have good GIS, it will help you with many questions. For example, it was time I was working in Alpha Bank, and I was sitting in the address Sakharova Prospect Avenue.
Prospect Avenue.
Sakharova Prospect 12. It is a huge building, and suddenly I realized I want to have ATM machine on my floor. And I was asking for my technician, it is possible? They say, yes, okay, it is possible. Close to your door, it could be installed. And I was happy. I will have my personal ATM machine. And then some of them asked GIS, and suddenly GIS said that this building has not so powerful floor. For example, to GIS, which we are working for right now, they have information about how many tables in the room, how expensive is the food, how many ground lines or telephone lines in it, and also how many weight could be put on 1 square meter.
So it seems like the GIS also could not only help you to build a road, but maybe give you some sort of the context of the place that you intend to go. So in terms of how the data that they serve could be monetized, what are the different ways that the companies who intend to or already own this data could have a look to?
There are several ways. For example, this especially GIS we are working with, they were created as telephone company provider. So they need to know where under the ground there is a tubes, there is a collectors, there are wires. So they should know where the best point to communicate with a new building or new structured, I don't know, some apartments.
And in terms of the discoverability and the recommendations for the user, so let's say there is someone who is using the app constantly, probably they might be so used to the interface or, like the suggestion that the system gives. So they might be even willing to give like a short queries in order to make sure the system will understand them and will provide the recommendation, or maybe suggest something similar or like something which is look like to what they usually do. So what are the opportunities for the GIS here to serve their customers better?
Let's return to the layers. For example, one layer could be this is a territory with roads, with buildings, with rivers, and so on. Second, it would be, for example, people who work on this area. So they have a mobile phone switch on during from 9 to 6 o'clock p.m. Third level, it could be where people sleep. This phone is switched on the same place, for example, from 10 p.m. to, I don't know, 4 or 6 a.m. Then competitors, for example, you will ask, is there any competitors in the area 5 kilometers around me? And if you will intersect this layer, you will understand the hotspot with requests and the shallow place with no competitors on it. And for example, in this exactly way, I was choosing the place of our family dentistry, which is located in the center of Moscow. Everyone was thinking that we are dumb people because it is expensive and it is not the right place. Too expensive rent, but was well calculated. There were calculated 3 spots close to the Kremlin, close to the heart of the Russia, and it was made intentionally.
And in terms of the usage of the GIS data, let's say like for some like a second order purposes, like as far as I know, for example, Yandex might be using the routing or navigating data in order to rebalance the traffic in the city. So what are the possible ways that GIS could help maybe like a bigger institutions to do things the better way?
Let's put it in this way. When we talk about Google or Yandex or GIS, they're using special algorithm to prioritize the roads. And you're right, usually you will get not the shortest or smartest way. You will be moved from the road that everyone has the similar or equal possibilities. But if you know the special code you will put in your navigator in Yandex or Google or GIS, you will be prioritized. For example, if you work in MCHS, Ministry of Immediate Response.
Yes.
Or for example, if you're working for police or for Interpol, you will be guided in such a way that everyone car on this street will go away from you. Or, for example, if it is time for president inauguration or some celebration, just military, police, and state car will get the roads close to the crowds, but all other will be moved from the city by the navigator.
And my last question will be how knowing about GIS could help to make this world a better place.
You know, to make the story short, I was working in Germany, and it was a time when we were working for Brain Trust. Brain Trust, or think tank, it's kind of the company which help to hire officials or some top managers to know big portion of information in a very short term. And we were sitting with a lot of computers, with a lot of monitors, and we were preparing a presentation which should be remembered by the person in 30 or 40 minutes. So we were showing the map, the roads, the cities, the plants, the farms, and also digits. And we were calculating how to make this faster and better, how to make that this person will remind everything is his head and will recognize any person who is working for local authorities.
А мы рассмотрели навык GIS и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!